Hey guys, what's going on? We got another turbo session here. This is about 2k to 2100 MMR. We had a really rough session and overall we went down in rating, but we did learn that Turbo Cleave is not in the greatest positions. The only thing you really ever want to fight are melee cleaves, and even then your win rate is still pretty low. Um, but yeah. So in this match here, though, we're fighting Shadowplay. Um, Basically, if you're the Enhancement Shaman, you want to make sure you have seasoned wins. What that's going to do is every time you interrupt one of the casters, you gain 15% damage reduction to that spell school. So once you get 3 stacks of that, you get 45% damage reduction to that spell school. So try to always kick on Shadow, because both Affliction Warlock and Shadow Priest do shadow damage. So if you have that up the whole time, you're just going to be taking very little damage. But as you'll see, they have a Resto Druid healer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be splitting our damage. I'm going to be on the Shadow Priest. Marcel's is going to be kind of focusing on the Warlock, and we're going to make swaps every so often just to put even more pressure onto one target. Basically, what this does is it forces the druid to switch his hots always, or keep 2 sets of hots up at all times, basically burning his mana like no tomorrow. That's what we find is best, especially when fighting a druid. Since you kind of have to win on the mana game, we have to force their mana pool very low. So as you'll see, I'll be spam kicking the Shadow Priest, trying to keep my seasoned wins up, while just trying to do as much damage as possible. When I get a defensive out, I try to switch to the Affliction Lock just to get even more pressure over to make the Druid spend even more hots on the other target, rather than trying to heal up the other one with the defensives up. So that's basically the best idea. If you have decurse, try to decurse as much as possible. You'll notice I don't do that. But pulling the agony off reduces the Affliction Warlock's soul generation, and that means less malefic grasps, which reduces their damage significantly. But at the same time, they're just going to be doing damage no matter what because they have dots. They're a dot class. So even if they're not casting, they're still doing a significant amount of damage. But as you see, the Resto Druid's mana is going very, very low, very fast. Shuk's trying to drink, which is forcing the Druid to come out, and he can't get a drink. But as you see, we're kind of just smashing whatever. The splitting's really working. We're getting the defensives we want. I'm still just sitting on the priest, trying to get as much damage out as possible, forcing the druid's mana. And then I get him very low. The druid, I think, used... Oh, no, he didn't use it on us. There's Iron Bark, so I'm going to switch the Warlock here. We're going to rail him. Just try and get as much damage rather than hitting into the Iron Bark, which I think is like a 15 to 20% damage reduction. So it's not worth it. And then it falls off, so we switch back to the priest because the warlock's fully hotted. So there's no point in hitting him. Now we get even more damage. And then we get disperse, which is big. So that means they have nothing left to save the priest other than life swap, I believe. So that's going to be the game winner. Um, You could also go for a bit more hexes. The druid wasn't quite getting the shapeshifts off in time. But as you see, I pulled him in there, forced him to trank, because if we had swapped to him, he probably would have fell over. But Marcellus gets a pretty fat execute there and takes him out. So in this match, we're fighting Outlaw Boomkin. This isn't a very common composition to fight. But as you see, Shoot got sapped there. I tried to drop Earth Grab to grab something to get combat, and then I pulled the totem back with Totemic Projection just to try and root the rogue in case he got the sap off, and if I could root him, it would stop his opener on us. But it didn't quite work out. Um, but you'll see the rogue is fully focused on me trying to get stuns and shutting down my damage. As you'll notice on the meters, I'm not doing very much just because he's kidneying me on DR, like just right as it ends. And he's also disarming on cooldown almost, or whenever I try and get a bit of damage. And then they're trying to CC Shook as much as possible. I think the rogue's too focused on me. The Boomkin's doing what he can. I'm not sure how he dodged my Sunder there, but it was kind of unfortunate. But here I swap to the rogue a little bit just to hit something rather than try and blindly chase. It's best just to try and attack something there. And we got the rogue to evasion. But for Outlaw, it doesn't really matter if he evasions early or not because it'll be back up within 30 seconds because of the way Outlaw works. It's very, very annoying. I hate fighting them. But we're just focused on the Boomkin. So I get an Ascendance proc there, which the rogue disarms me, which was really, really good because now I know he didn't have disarm, but we killed the Boomkin anyways. So if he disarms early, that means I have Doom Winds. And what that means is that's my burst window. The only thing he can do is stun me. So that's it. You want to try and get them to disarm you before you Doom Winds. But anyways, on to the next match. This one was another interesting comp that you don't see very often. Ret Paladin, Fire Mage. Now the Mage was very focused on CC, and we almost killed the Ret Pally, forcing Guardian Angel from the Priest, which we also procced, which means now it's on a bigger cooldown. But now that the Mage is out and ready to fight, we're going to switch to him because he's going to be the better target. You can see him pop combustion there, so I walled instantly just to reduce the damage. We get cauterized, which was very surprising. And then we're going to get ice block, I think. He's just taking so much damage because I believe he's running, I think it's glass cannon. Basically, they have increased damage but significantly reduced health. And here I pop Doomwind Sunder, and then he just falls over. So I think I got a pretty solid Storm Flurry proc there. But on to the last match. This is a long one. This is Mistweaver and then Ret Warrior. This is a very tough comp to beat, but it's easier than fighting a double caster in a sense. Basically, we're going to be switching in between the Paladin and the Warrior consistently. Just to try and get the monk to spend a bit more mana, but also to just kind of put pressure and get both their cooldowns as well. As you saw, the warrior popped Die by the Sword pretty early, so that means now we have a pretty good shot at killing the warrior. But then we also get sacrifice from the paladin, which is good. That's another defensive gone. So now we just have bubble and bop to deal with. But also, I think Die by the Sword is like a minute 30-second cooldown, so we have like a 1 minute 30-second window to try and kill. We still have bubble to get through on the monk. There I should have just went for the hex rather than kick him. I think it would have been better to get it off, but it is what it is. But here Shoot bops me, so I'm just trying to get damage. I always spam kick the healer whenever I can. But as you see, the monk's very low on mana. But I believe with Mana Tea, he gets quite a lot of mana back, so it's not a huge hit. But here I'm just Shook CC'd, so I'm just trying to get them off me a little bit, trying to heal myself a bit to help Shook out. I'm also running Ride the Lightning and Shamanism, which gives me Bloodlust. So that's a pretty good offensive kit. So here the monk came in, so we just kind of hit him a little bit, just to say, hey, get the heck out of here. You're not welcome. Because if a monk pushes in, he's a pretty easy target. But here we get quite a lot of damage. We get both sacrifice and Die by the Sword, and the monk doesn't have cocoon. That means the warrior can fall soon. As soon as sacrifice goes off, I'm gonna pop Doom Winds and start wailing into him. I missed my kick on the monk, which is super unfortunate. If I had gotten that, the warrior probably would have died. But here I think Shoot gets some CC onto the monk in a second. And then the warrior should fall over soon. But you see, I get a kick on him, and now the warrior should... Oh my god, he's still alive. Yeah, there he goes. And now the Ret, because both healers are quite they do have a chance, so the ret's gonna still continue playing. So you have to be careful, make sure you're trying to heal yourself, and rets do have quite the burst to go off. But yeah, it's like I said, Turbo's not in the greatest spots. We are trying to work on some different comps. We might be playing a bit of Thunder. I know Marcellus has a evoker, so we might even try augmentation enhancement. We've heard it's supposed to be good, so you might see a video on that soon. But other than that, Turbo's not in the greatest spot. It is pretty simple to learn, so if you're looking for a quick, maybe Zug Zug comp, Turbo's definitely the way to go. But yeah, if you can play with a Windwalker as an Enhancement Shaman, I'd do that. But anyways, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Later.